Hey, Bonnie.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
Okay, how are you?
I am fantastic. Thanks for having me on.
After Frank Fritz's death, his mansion was opened, and what they found left jaws on the floor. Hidden behind dusty doors were rare collectibles, unsent letters, and haunting personal notes that revealed a man battling more than illness. It wasn't just clutter, it was a silent cry for help. Join us as we explore what was found in Frank Fritz Mansion. Frank Fritz's collections. Frank Fritz, the cherished co-host of American Pickers, sadly passed away on September 30th, 2024, at the age of 60, due to complications from a stroke he experienced 2 years earlier. In the wake of his passing, attention shifted to his Iowa mansion, where intriguing discoveries captivated both fans and collectors alike. As investigators and estate handlers entered Fritz's mansion, they uncovered a vast collection of antiques and memorabilia that reflected his lifelong passion for collecting. The mansion was filled with vintage motorcycles, rare toys, and historical artifacts, some of which dated back to the early 20th century. As investigators delved deeper into Frank Fritz's mansion in Iowa, their discoveries grew increasingly remarkable. What initially seemed like a chaotic assortment of vintage items gradually transformed into a meticulously curated time capsule, an archive showcasing American culture, personal narratives, and rare collectibles that even the most experienced pickers would deem as once-in-a-lifetime finds. The living room had undergone a remarkable transformation, evolving into an unofficial showroom that showcased an impressive array of motorcycles, both restored and unrestored. Among the collections were several iconic models from renowned manufacturers such as Harley-Davidson and Indian, with some dating back to the 1930s and extending through the 1970s. Many of these motorcycles retained their original components, a testament to their historical significance. They were carefully displayed in climate-controlled environments, which not only highlighted the collector's passion for these machines, but also underscored a commitment to their meticulous maintenance and preservation. One wall was adorned with shelves filled with over 300 vintage tin toys, all still in their original packaging, with some even bearing price tags from the 1950s. Among them were wind-up race cars, circus figurines, and early Japanese imports, remarkable examples of post-war toy craftsmanship. A handful of these items, including a first-edition Mickey Mouse tin toy, were so rare that collectors estimate their value to be in the tens of thousands of dollars each. Another part of the mansion showcased an impressive collection of military memorabilia. Authentic uniforms from World War I and II adorned the walls, complete with medals and patches, alongside vintage recruitment posters, ration kits, and even a framed letter from a soldier who served in Europe during the Battle of the Bulge. Fritz had also amassed a rare assortment of Civil War currency, featuring both Confederate and Union artifacts, as well as antique firearms, all of which were legally acquired and displayed with stringent security measures. Throughout the hallways and side rooms, Coca-Cola signs from nearly every decade of the 20th century could be found, along with original gas station globes, jukeboxes, pinball machines, and hand-painted advertisements, all of which reflected Fritz's deep appreciation for American roadside culture. Among the most remarkable finds was a secret room hidden behind a bookshelf, containing items believed to be worth millions. Handlers observed scuff marks on the floor near a built-in bookshelf. When they examined it more closely, they discovered a mechanism that enabled the shelf to slide open, unveiling a secret room, something that even some of his closest friends were unaware of. Within this hidden area lay an even more intimate collection of treasures. This room held limited edition collectibles, signed memorabilia, and rare artifacts that highlighted Fritz's commitment to preserving history. There, beneath the soft yet concentrated glow of the lights, were piles of signed memorabilia, vintage concert posters bearing the signatures of legends like Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, and Bob Dylan, original scripts from iconic television series such as The Twilight Zone and Bonanza, and a collection of baseball cards. Among them, a rare 1914 Babe Ruth rookie card in almost pristine condition. Art historians who were aiding the estate handlers also uncovered several paintings from the Depression era, created by lesser-known yet critically acclaimed regionalist artists, pieces seldom found in private collections. However, beyond the financial worth, what truly captured attention was a worn, leather-bound journal discovered in a locked chest tucked away at the back of the concealed room. The journal contained entries that spanned more than 25 years, beginning just prior to the debut of American Pickers. In page after page of tidy, flowing handwriting, Frank documented his journeys across the country, his most unforgettable finds, and most touchingly, his personal battles with health, relationships, and the spotlight. He extensively detailed his complex relationship with Mike Wolfe, sharing instances of both profound friendship and painful separation. In a 2015 entry, he noted that he and Mike were like brothers in their work, even if they didn't explicitly state it. They created this from scratch, driven by a common dream and a keen eye for rust. He also shared his struggles with Crohn's disease, which he referred to as a constant shadow that trailed him wherever he went. The journal provided a glimpse into the hidden room as well. Frank called it his memory vault, a refuge he sought when the chaos of the outside world grew overwhelming. The entries revealed that this space, more than any other, served as his haven, packed not only with precious treasures, but also with the emotional burden of a life spent traveling and under public scrutiny. Among the artifacts were also deeply personal items: old photographs of his parents, ticket stubs from county fairs, birthday cards from childhood, and a folded letter from an unnamed former partner that seemed to hint at a lost love. These human touches, nestled among priceless antiques, reminded those who entered the mansion that this wasn't just a collector's house, it was Frank Fritz's story, told through things. In the weeks following the discovery, curators and archivists began cataloging the items, with many calling for a traveling exhibit or museum installation to honor Frank's legacy. His journal may be published posthumously as part of a memoir project, pending family approval. Meanwhile, fans continue to gather outside his Savannah, Illinois store and online, sharing memories of the man who saw value in what others threw away. In life, Frank Fritz traveled far and wide to uncover forgotten pieces of American history. In death, the contents of his own home may be one of the greatest picks of all. However, it wasn't the unique antiques or the concealed room that evoked the strongest feelings. It was the genuine humanity present within them. When word of Frank's private journal and personal keepsakes circulated, the public's response was immediate and heartfelt. Admirers didn't merely perceive a collector's heritage, they recognized a man silently confronting his struggles, safeguarding memories, and bequeathing more than mere items. He imparted a narrative. Public's reaction. After the discovery of Frank Fritz's vast collection and personal journal in his mansion in Iowa, the public's response was immediate and profoundly emotional. Fans and fellow collectors flocked to social media platforms to share memories and pay tribute to the late co-host of American Pickers. Videos that showcased the hidden treasures within Fritz's mansion attracted considerable attention. YouTube channels featuring videos that highlighted the discoveries made in Fritz's mansion. These videos provided a space for fans to reflect on Fritz's impact in the antique world and his presence on television. The emotional response to Fritz's passing was observed to reach far beyond just social media platforms. According to TV Insider, heartfelt tributes poured in from Fritz's colleagues, including notable figures like Mike Wolfe and Danielle Colby. Wolfe took to Instagram to share his sentiments, stating, "We've been on countless trips and shared so many miles, and I feel blessed that I was there by his side when he took one last journey home." Colby also shared her thoughts, saying she will miss Frank and his ability to make everyone laugh. On the other hand, The Sun reported that not all reactions were positive. Some fans expressed their disappointment over the lack of a tribute to Fritz during the premiere of Season 26 of American Pickers. While the History Channel did provide special coverage that celebrated his contributions before the new season aired, The premiere episode itself failed to acknowledge his passing. This oversight led many fans to express their frustration and disappointment on social media, highlighting their desire for a more fitting tribute. The discoveries from Frank Fritz's mansion struck a chord with the public, igniting a surge of tributes, conversations, and contemplations regarding his life and legacy. The items and personal belongings uncovered not only highlighted his enthusiasm for collecting, but also provided insight into the individual beyond the television character, making a lasting impression on both fans and collectors. Fritz's achievements. Frank Fritz's impact on the antique and television industries exemplifies his unwavering commitment to excellence and his remarkable ability to turn passion into lasting success. Throughout the years, Fritz not only honed his collecting abilities into a true art form, but also reshaped the cultural narrative surrounding antique hunting. His accomplishments serve as significant milestones in a career that resonated with collectors, historians, and audiences well beyond the television screen. One of Fritz's most remarkable achievements was his pivotal role in making antique collecting a mainstream phenomenon through his television work. His deep expertise and authentic personality on the History Channel's popular series raised public awareness of antiques from a niche interest to a widely celebrated cultural endeavor. His method was not just about displaying physical items, but about crafting narratives around them, infusing history with personal stories and insights that turned forgotten artifacts into treasured relics. This storytelling approach not only captivated viewers, but also educated them on the importance of preserving historical artifacts, solidifying Fritz's status as a cultural ambassador for America's heritage. His influence was significant, inspiring many to view everyday objects with renewed curiosity, seeking hidden gems in the overlooked and discarded. Beyond his television career, Fritz showcased remarkable entrepreneurial skills. He transformed his extensive knowledge of antiques into thriving business endeavors, creating physical stores that became must-visit locations for enthusiasts. The shops he helped establish were not just retail outlets. They were vibrant museums that encapsulated decades of American history. His business strategies combined education, preservation, and commerce, fostering spaces where collectors could engage with history on a personal level. By nurturing a community of like-minded individuals, Fritz guaranteed that his legacy would persist in influencing the marketplace and shaping the public's perception of collectible culture long after he was gone. In addition to his media presence and business pursuits, Fritz gained recognition as an author and mentor. Through his writings and public engagements, he generously imparted the knowledge he had gained over years of experience, providing guidance to aspiring antique collectors and entrepreneurs alike. His published works offered practical insights into the art of picking, highlighting the significance of historical context, accurate valuation, and the emotional fulfillment that comes from each discovery. These publications played a crucial role in the professionalization of antique collecting, transforming it into a field where passion and expertise could evolve into a lucrative and esteemed career. His insights continue to inspire new generations, urging them to see collecting not just as a pastime, but as a lifelong adventure of exploration and appreciation of heritage. Fritz's influence extended beyond the measurable achievements of his career. It resonated deeply in the emotional bonds he established with his audience. His genuine and humble approach to his craft fostered an instant connection with viewers and customers alike. They recognized in him a mirror of their own curiosity and passion for history. This bond evolved into a loyal following that eagerly anticipated each new revelation he unveiled. Social media platforms erupted with praise whenever a unique find was showcased on his programs or in his store, as fans shared not just their amazement at the artifacts discovered, but also their appreciation for how he made history relatable. Through these exchanges, Fritz nurtured a welcoming community united by a common love for preserving the past, a community that continues to flourish thanks to his groundbreaking contributions. Additionally, Fritz's legacy is highlighted by the durability and growth of his brand. His knack for evolving with the times while staying true to his fundamental principles was a remarkable feat. In a landscape where media trends and consumer preferences can be fleeting, his unwavering emphasis on the lasting value of antiques offered a reassuring counterpoint. Whether through television, personal engagements, or his successful retail ventures, he upheld a firm commitment to honoring and protecting historical treasures. This relentless passion has not only kept the spirit of antique collecting alive and vibrant, but has also established a standard for future collectors, ensuring that his practices and ideals continue to influence the field. Frank Fritz made significant contributions to historical preservation on a national level by highlighting the importance of American artifacts spanning vintage motorcycles, old signage, rare toys, and military memorabilia. He played a crucial role in reminding the public of the shared cultural and historical legacy found in everyday items. His efforts inspired communities and institutions to examine their own historical treasures, often igniting local initiatives aimed at preserving relics that might have otherwise faded into obscurity. His work went beyond mere commerce. It served as a public service that enriched the collective appreciation for America's diverse and rich history. When reflecting on his success, it is essential to recognize not just the tangible achievements, but also the profound impact Fritz had on the perception of history. His accomplishments symbolize a connection between the past and the present, rendering history both tangible and accessible. He possessed a remarkable ability to uncover meaning in the mundane, and through his endeavors, he provided future generations with the chance to experience the excitement of discovery. The legacy he leaves behind is not solely in the items he amassed, but in the narratives he shared and the enthusiasm he sparked. Today, as collectors continue to rummage through attics and visit estate sales, they do so with a piece of Frank Fritz's spirit guiding them, a spirit that transformed a personal passion into a celebrated national endeavor. As the antique industry continues to change, the legacy of Fritz's career remains unmistakable. His comprehensive approach, merging media, entrepreneurship, mentorship, and community involvement, established a new benchmark for what it means to be a collector. His accomplishments remind us that genuine success is not solely defined by financial rewards or audience size, but by the enduring influence one has on culture and individual lives. The numerous tributes from admirers on social media and within antique circles highlight the respect and admiration he earned throughout his journey. Frank Fritz's accomplishments form a vibrant tapestry, crafted from innovation, commitment, and passion. They illustrate a man who transformed a childhood fascination into a diverse career that inspired countless individuals, fostered communities, and safeguarded invaluable pieces of history for future generations. His legacy continues to act as both a source of inspiration and a guide for anyone who believes in the transformative potential of passion, a legacy that is sure to last for many years ahead. The astonishing collection of artifacts found in Frank Fritz's mansion wasn't a result of American pickers. It represented the peak of a lifelong passion that started in his early years. From the instant he acquired his first antique as a child, Frank was fueled by a profound affection for neglected treasures and the tales held within rust, wood, and paper. Frank's early life. Frank Fritz was born on October 11, 1965, in Davenport, Iowa, and he stood out as a unique child in his neighborhood. While other kids his age were preoccupied with trading baseball cards, riding their bikes freely, or saving up for the newest toys, Frank was charting a different course. He spent his time exploring roadsides, junkyards, and flea markets, always on the lookout for treasures that most people dismissed as trash. By the time he reached elementary school, he had cultivated a fascination with items that were quite atypical for a child, such as beer cans, vintage razor blades, stamps, and coins. In stark contrast to many of his peers, who typically steered clear of rust and dust, Frank was fascinated by it. he found beauty and stories in items that others had overlooked, appreciating the value in what many would consider trash. While his classmates displayed their toy collections with pride, Frank delighted in showcasing shelves overflowing with carefully curated soda cans, retro packaging, and distinctive curios he had rescued from being forgotten. For Frank, true treasure was not about gold or action figures. It was about the rich narratives embedded in corroded metal and worn paper. His serene yet resolute passion for collecting distinguished him from his peers and established the groundwork for his future professional endeavors. Long before the advent of cameras that documented every one of his findings, and well before the phenomenon of antique hunting became a popular topic on television, Frank Fritz was diligently honing his skills in the art of recognizing value in items that society had largely ignored. As he matured, Fritz's interests evolved to include larger items, such as motorcycles and dirt bikes. A significant early investment for him was a 1964 Harley-Davidson, which he acquired as a teenager, much to his parents' disapproval. His love for vintage motorcycles ultimately motivated him to write a book titled How to Pick Vintage Motorcycles, where he shares his insights with other motorcycle enthusiasts. Before he became a cherished antique picker in the national limelight, Frank Fritz dedicated around 25 years to a completely different yet equally meticulous career as a fire and safety inspector. This role required accuracy, alertness, and a keen sense of order, all qualities that reflected his methodical approach to collecting. However, even while he was inspecting factories and firehouses to ensure safety and compliance, Frank's instinct as a collector was always alive and well. In contrast to many inspectors who might disregard the commonplace items found in the buildings they examined, Frank recognized potential. Old fire helmets, brass nozzles, extinguishers, and worn signage were not merely tools of his trade. They were fragments of history. Throughout the years, he built an impressive collection of firehouse memorabilia, seamlessly blending his career with his enduring passion. The pivotal moment arrived when Frank discovered a small item at a garage sale, bought it for a mere $15, and later sold it for an astonishing $450. This experience not only took him by surprise, but also sparked a profound realization. Collecting was not just a personal interest, it could be a legitimate career. With this newfound inspiration, what had started as a weekend pastime transformed into a full-time endeavor. Frank began to view every roadside stop, junk heap, and neglected attic not merely as nostalgic spots, but as treasure troves brimming with cultural and historical significance. Frank Fritz first crossed paths with Mike Wolfe during their school days in LeClaire, Iowa, a quaint Midwestern town where their shared passion for hunting down unique and forgotten treasures united them long before the advent of television cameras. While most teenagers connected over sports or music, Frank and Mike discovered their camaraderie in their intrigue for discarded relics and roadside finds. They were the type of kids who would stray from the usual routes to explore a barn sale or sift through a heap of junk just to uncover a hidden treasure. Their bond was rooted in a shared belief that every item had a tale to tell, and that the history behind it was worth honoring. They often engaged in casual picking, traveling through the heart of rural America in quest of antiques, not for fame, but for the thrill of finding something unique. Despite their distinct career paths, Frank working as a fire and safety inspector, and Mike venturing into the antique trade as a budding entrepreneur, their passion for collecting kept their friendship vibrant. The chemistry and shared passion between Frank and Mike served as the foundation for the creation of American Pickers. In 2010, the History Channel approved the series, launching the duo into the national limelight. As co-hosts, they infused the show with a genuine sense of authenticity, humor, and warmth. Audiences were captivated not only by the intriguing antiques they discovered, but also by the deep friendship between two lifelong companions who were truly passionate about their work. The series showcased their adventures as they traveled across the United States in their distinctive van, exploring barns, basements, and backyards in search of one-of-a-kind collectibles, which included vintage motorcycles, signs, toys, furniture, and pop culture memorabilia. American Pickers was more than just a program about items. It was a narrative experience. At the heart of it all was Frank Fritz, known for his keen eye, clever humor, and sincere appreciation for the often overlooked treasures. His childhood passion had come full circle, evolving into a career that not only made him a household name, but also inspired a new generation of collectors. In addition to their captivating adventures on screen, Frank Fritz and Mike Wolfe channeled their shared enthusiasm for antiques into a successful enterprise by founding Antique Archaeology in LeClaire, Iowa. The store quickly emerged as a beloved spot for collectors and enthusiasts, offering a meticulously chosen array of vintage items, unique memorabilia, and captivating historical pieces. With the rising popularity of American Pickers, their business flourished, prompting the opening of a second location in Nashville, Tennessee. This development established their brand as more than just a TV series, transforming it into a dynamic cultural hub for Americana enthusiasts. While Wolfe took the reins at Antique Archaeology, Frank ventured out independently to establish Frank Fritz Finds, a personal project situated in Savannah, Illinois. This shop embodied his distinctive taste, brimming with an eclectic mix of quirky roadside signs, antique toys, jukeboxes, gas station collectibles, and motorcycle parts. It served as a testament to his extensive journey as a picker, providing fans with a deeper, more personal connection to his artistic vision and style. However, after a successful 10 years on American Pickers, Fritz's time on the show faced an unforeseen interruption. He took a leave of absence in 2020 due to health complications, which included issues stemming from back surgery and subsequently a stroke. During his break, the History Channel quietly continued without him. Fans were left in shock when it was revealed that he had been officially dismissed from the series. Fritz also made an investment in a farmhouse located in LeClaire, Iowa, a place that transformed into a personal getaway and a haven for his vast assortment of vintage collectibles. For Fritz, the essence lay not in size or luxury, but in soul, history, and purpose. The house, constructed in 1935, resonated with the Americana he had dedicated his life to collecting and safeguarding. It transformed into more than just a home. It became a mirror of his identity. Covering 1,660 square feet and situated on nearly an acre of land, the farmhouse boasted 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a basement, providing ample space for comfort. But more crucially, it allowed for the storage of his cherished collections and memories. Throughout the years, Fritz invested himself into the property, altering and enlarging it to cater to both his way of life and his passions. He constructed additional buildings, including a barn, a shed, and 3 garages, which ultimately helped accommodate parts of his vast collection featuring vintage motorcycles, antique signs, and industrial relics. Fritz's personal life. Frank Fritz never entered into marriage, but he did have a profound and chaotic relationship with Deanne Bankson that spanned several years. Their romance became public in 2016 when Fritz started posting pictures of Deanne and her family on social media. In December of that year, he shared a photo that included Deanne, her daughter, and her granddaughter, affectionately calling the infant his granddaughter. This led to speculation about their marital status, but Fritz was quick to clarify that while he was not married, he considered Diane's family as his own. In 2017, Fritz and Deanne got engaged and moved into his farmhouse in Iowa. However, their relationship faced challenges. In November 2018, Deanne claimed she discovered Fritz in bed with another woman, resulting in a brief separation. They were able to reconcile, but in 2020, Deanne filed a lawsuit against Fritz, alleging negligence during a fireworks incident that left her with severe burns on her hand and arm. She claimed that Fritz refused to take her to the hospital and told her to toughen up. Ultimately, the lawsuit was dismissed in March 2020. Fritz accused Diane of being unfaithful, claiming that he thought they were on the path to marriage, only to discover she had a boyfriend while he was away. He conveyed that this betrayal had a profound impact on him, resulting in emotional distress. In response, Diane asserted that his statements were false. She remarked that if he was attempting to portray her as the villain, naturally she would deny it, as it was not true. She further stated she has no interest in drama or chaos in her life. She is simply focused on healing at this moment. And she is ready to move forward. If Frank was never married, has no kids, who then was his wealth given to? Let's find out. Frank's will. Prior to his death, Fritz took the necessary steps to draft a will in October 2023, which outlined the distribution of his estate, estimated to be worth around $6 million. This will was properly filed in Iowa and received judicial approval shortly after his passing. However, the validity of Fritz's will is currently being challenged. His father, Bill Fritz, has filed a petition to contest the will, claiming that Frank lacked the mental capacity to execute it due to the incapacitating effects of his stroke. Bill contends that he is Frank's only surviving relative and therefore believes he is the rightful heir to the estate. On the other hand, close friends and individuals who play a significant role in Frank Fritz's care and guardianship, most notably his legal guardian, Chris Davis, strongly believe that the will truly reflects Frank's authentic wishes. They emphasize that Bill Fritz, Frank's father, had very limited contact with him during the critical period following his stroke, a time when Frank's health and ability to make decisions were being closely monitored. Furthermore, these supporters contend that the will was drafted and executed in full compliance with all relevant legal standards, which reinforces its validity. Their position underscores the belief that Frank's wishes were respected and legally protected, despite the ongoing disputes surrounding the matter. At present, the probate case remains sealed, meaning that the details are not publicly accessible, and the court has yet to make a definitive ruling regarding the validity of the will. The outcome of this legal matter is crucial, as it will establish who the legitimate heirs to Fritz's estate are and dictate the manner in which his assets will be allocated. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.